In the video last week, I was talking about the SwitchBot Wallet Finder, a card that can help you track your own wallet or bag or something similar where you can attach or insert this small tag. But today we are going to talk about two additional devices that were announced on the IFA Berlin this year. And these are the SwitchBot Meter Pro and also SwitchBot Humidifier, unlimited water SwitchBot Humidifier. We'll start in a couple of seconds. IFA Berlin has finished and a lot of new products, not just from SwitchBot, were announced. But today we are going to look at two new products from SwitchBot. As I've mentioned in the intro of the video, we'll be looking at the latest version of the humidifier, which is a really awesome product, and I'm still using the original one, which I have for at least 2 years now. But this year's humidifier is even better, because it has even larger tank, but also for all of you that have already S10 SwitchBot vacuum robot that can be attached to the plumbing, this one can be directly recharged by the robot vacuum, which is a really nice way of moving into robotic IoT, where the device doesn't have only one use or capability, but it serves multiple purposes. But besides this humidifier, we'll be also looking at the latest SwitchBot Meter Pro. Unfortunately, not this one that also has a CO2 monitoring, but we will be looking at this more plain version that has everything needed for you to see the current values of your home, for the temperature, humidity, comfort levels, but it also enables you to display additional data from additional sensors. For example, if you have outdoor sensor from SwitchBot, you can hook it up, tie it down to this device here, and then also see values from your garden. So let's get started with devices. First, let's look at this SwitchBot humidifier with autofill function. It currently is selling for 240 euros, but you can also get additional discount if you are using this code here. So you can get it for 190 euros. For a device like this, it may seem a bit steep, but it really is not. The device, as simple as humidifier, in this case is packed with a lot of functionality. And here I'm not talking about autofill functionality if you, for example, have S10 Pro, but some additional really neat features. In the box, you receive everything you need, of course, to operate this device. Practically there is no assembly needed, you just need to remove a couple of straps or self-adhesive tapes to unpack everything, hook it up to the power grid, add water, pair it to the SwitchBot app, and that's it. If you're interested in the insides, well, this is how it looks. It's very easy to disassemble if you need to disassemble it for the cleaning. It also has self-cleaning functionality, but no, it's just used to dry out the sponge inside so that no mold grows inside the device itself. And also the app, which we'll talk a little bit later down the road, has a nice functionality, same as with Robot, where it tells you in what intervals you need to clean or replace part of the device. When you are ready, as I said, unpack it, hook it up to the electricity, add water, and there are 3 ways on how you can add water. Unfortunately, I do not have S10, so I couldn't test autofill functionality. But in terms of normal functionality, you either open the lid and pour in the water. I think it has a tank of around 3 liters, which is really awesome, because even if the air is very dry, it will get you through the day. Or if you do not want to fill it that way, you can simply pick up the tank, get it to your faucet and fill it there. Then just simply slide it into the slot and that's it. The device on top has a protruding transparent block, and this block is there to show you the status of the device, if it's turned on or off, and also if it's in the green state, meaning that there is enough water in the tank, or if it's in the red state when there is not enough water. And yes, the device will know when it runs out of water, and it will also notify you inside the app. Adding the device to app is very easy. I think for that it is, as always, using Bluetooth technology, although the device itself is connected via the Wi-Fi. So you just click on Add Device. If it's not recognized, you can select it from the list, click on Device, and after a couple of seconds, it will ask you to enter or verify the credentials for the Wi-Fi network, and more or less this is it. The app follows the same style as with everything inside the SwitchBot, and that's a good thing for me, at least in my opinion. The biggest part of the screen is of course the state of the humidifier, where you can see if it's in the on and off state, and also if there is water inside or not. Below it you can select if you want to turn it on, if you want to put it on the low, high, auto, and also settings, for example, for the scheduled turn off, scheduled turn on, timers, delayed start, delayed stop, etc. etc. If we dig down in the menus, you can also find additional functionalities where you can, for example, tie in this device with the SwitchBot meter, which we'll be doing in a couple of seconds. You can check and add this device to the Meter network, which you will also be looking in a couple of seconds, and also check if you have the latest firmware, add it to third-party ecosystems, for example, smart homes from Apple, Google, Amazon, and also SmartThings. Pretty much all the standard stuff that you would expect from a SwitchBot, and that is also available for the other devices from that ecosystem. In terms of the noise, yes, you will hear it, but only if you are not running it in the sleep mode. If you are running it in the sleep mode, it will run on the slowest setting or lowest setting in terms of lights, which you can also actually turn off so that there is no light emitted from the device by itself. And also the fan inside will be really quiet. But on the other hand, if you put it on a high, yes, you will hear it definitely because it's a very large fan to be able to circulate all of the air through the humidifier. I mentioned large tank, 4.5 liters of water, and it's really awesome because in my apartment it lasted around 2 days. In terms of hygiene and also maintenance, the device does try to maintain all of the parts as much as it can, but there are some parts that need to be cleaned. And everything is really easy to disassemble and also later assemble. Everything can be washed by hand, and also filter can even be washed inside the washing machine, which is actually recommended to do every 240 hours or full 10 days of this device working. And no, I do not run it 24/7, I turn it on automatically at 7 am and turn it off at around 9 pm. If you do not have your mobile phone close hand, you can also use controls directly on the device itself. And yes, you can even turn it in the sleep mode, where it doesn't emit any sound, it runs very silent and also dims the light. So everything is available either through the mobile app or through the device itself. I have 3 types of meters: Switch Meter Original, Switch Meter Plus, and also this Switch Meter Pro. And each time it gets better and better, and the screen gets bigger and bigger, which is also good because my eyesight is getting worse and worse. At the same time I received the humidifier a couple of days before that, I also received this SwitchBot Meter Pro. It's an, as I said, awesome device. It allows you to see at a glance on a display current state of the indoor temperature or humidity. But I also mentioned that you can tie it in with additional sensors so it can display additional values on the same screen. If you go for the CO2 version, it will also include data for the CO2 sensor. The process of setting up is very easy. What you need to do is in the SwitchBot app, click on Add New Device and then press and hold the button on top of the device for 2 seconds. It will start the Bluetooth pairing process and the app should pick it up very quickly. There is no additional configuration for the pairing needed in both device and also mobile app. I forgot to mention something because I always mention it and I thought that it may not be useful. But yes, it's actually very useful. I am using SwitchBot Hub. I have SwitchBot Hub 2 because I have a lot of SwitchBot devices and I use it to control various other devices, curtains, K10 Plus Pro, etc. etc. So in order to get the full functionality of both of those devices, you do need SwitchBot Hub. In terms of meter, if you do have Hub available, you will have option to get weather information on that same display, and of course use voice commands if you tie it in with the third-party apps. If we compare it with the original SwitchBot meter, which was only 2.1 inch in diagonal, this one is 3.6, and it's actually a lot more. The SwitchBot Meter Plus is a device that is somewhere between the original and this one here, but it still has less functionality and displays or gives you less information. But I really like this subtle comfort level display, where on top we can say the comfort level of the air inside the apartment, and if you pair it with the outdoor unit, on the bottom we can see the comfort level of the air outside of the apartment. So everything in one pretty big screen. And also, unlike other SwitchBot meter devices, this one can also be further customized. For example, you can set up alarm conditions, comfort levels, something that you cannot do with other devices. Same as the latest autofill SwitchBot humidifier, you can also add this device as a meter device. But remember that currently there is a limit of how many SwitchBot second level devices you can add to the one SwitchBot hub. If I'm not mistaken, it's 7 devices. But how do those two devices work together? SwitchBot Humidifier, Autofill Humidifier, and also SwitchBot Meter Pro. Well, for me, tough luck. They unfortunately didn't work. I did update the firmware of the humidifier to the latest available firmware, and it did say that currently with the latest firmware it supports also SwitchBot Meter Pro. But no matter what I did, unfortunately, I was not able to pair or add those two devices. But I do believe that this is just a simple glitch with my case, and I was able to pair it with all the other SwitchBot meters I have. SwitchBot Meter, SwitchBot Meter Plus, and also temperature and humidity sensor inside the SwitchBot Hub 2. And of course, by adding the separate temperature and humidity sensor, you can also use the auto functionality much better or betterer inside the autofill humidifier, because now it knows the levels and it also knows when to increase or decrease its speed or air circulation. And based on that, I always have in my apartment humidity around 58%, because that's how I set it, which is also great for your respiratory system, not too humid and also not too dry. But we will see the peak of this device when the winter season arrives and when the heating starts to kick in. Then this device will have much more to work because it will have to replenish the air with all of the humidity that's been pulled out by the heating system. Let's talk about Matter support. If you want or have ecosystem that supports Matter devices, you can add this device to the SwitchBot second level Matter supported list of devices, and it will then be published to whatever Matter network you have. For example, Google, Amazon, Apple, or something else. And yes, also Home Assistant. That means that this device can be part of much larger or much broader ecosystem than just SwitchBot ecosystem. But once again, for that you need to have either SwitchBot Hub 2 that has Matter support or the latest mini SwitchBot Hub that also has Matter support. The previous version of the mini hub unfortunately doesn't work because it doesn't have Matter inside. And in terms of Home Assistant, if you add this device inside SwitchBot as a SwitchBot second level Matter device, you will see it in the list if you have it hooked up to Home Assistant. For example, this is my main production system. I have 6 Matter devices. If I click on it, click on devices, I will see the SwitchBot device here. I have SwitchBot Hub, SwitchBot K10 Plus Pro, temperature sensor and humidity sensor from the hub itself, and also this on-off plug-in unit. Unfortunately, this is the humidifier. Same as with K10 Plus Pro, if you click it, you only have one switch when you can turn it on or send the device out, or shut it down or return the device to the docking station. If we look at this plug here, you can see that it is currently switched on because it is currently working, and if I would turn it off, the humidifier would stop working. You are not able to set any additional functionality here, you do not have any sensor data here, you can just either turn it on or turn it off. Once again, I'm not really sure that this is the problem with the SwitchBot implementation. I think that this is currently a problem of the Matter standard. Of course, if you already added to Home Assistant, you can rename it, and also you can change the icon. So now we have icon for the humidifier, and we can turn it on and off also inside Home Assistant. As I said, I have also a lot of devices inside Home Assistant from the SwitchBot, from the bot, blind tilt, curtain control, hubs, meters, door sensors, motion sensors, etc., etc. And they are all here, but these here are Bluetooth devices. Although Humidifier has Bluetooth connection, and although the latest Meter Pro also has Bluetooth connection, they are not visible here. I am not sure if the support for them will be added in the future release of Home Assistant, but I do believe that at least SwitchBot Meter Pro will be added because all the other meters are here. For example, Kitchen Meter, which is the original meter device, and also Hall, which is the plus version of the meter device, are already supported internally inside Home Assistant. In order for this Pro version of meter to be supported, the library has to be updated, and this is usually done with each new release of Home Assistant. So hopefully when the new release of Home Assistant is out, we will also have internal support for this meter via the Bluetooth. Will the humidifier also work via the Bluetooth? Currently, I do not know. I know that Bluetooth in humidifier is used for the pairing process, but I'm not sure if it is also used for the control purposes. So why do I think that the humidifier is an awesome device, and if you are looking for a humidifier, this should be one of the devices that you should look at. I'm not talking here about price because 240 euros for this device is not cheap. There are definitely cheaper devices. But in terms of maintenance of the device, in terms of assembly, in terms of application, in terms of control, in terms of everything related to the fresh and humid air inside your apartment, this device really has a lot of pluses. In terms of negatives, unfortunately, because of its 4.5 liters engine, because of how it disperses the humidity inside the air, this device is really bulky. So you will have to have a lot of space to put it somewhere and don't fall or trip over it. I know that it's much easier to have one device that has everything, but maybe SwitchBot should consider and create a similar device that doesn't have autofill functionality. I know that this is a great combo to have both devices, but also some of the people have humidifier in one room or one floor where the vacuum is on the other floor. So even if they are using the same ecosystem, they would not be able to use this autofill functionality. If autofill would be available as an add-on or as an upgraded version of the device, in my opinion that could potentially be better. But besides its big size and also the issue I had with pairing with Meter Pro, which I believe is something that the future firmware will fix, and if it gets fixed, I will pin the comment down in a comment section below. I do believe really that this is an awesome device. But at the end, it's all up to you to see if the price of this device matches the expectations and what you want to get from the humidifier. But even if you do not go for the humidifier, SwitchBot Meter Pro is an awesome device on its own level. And I do believe that a lot of people will get this device because it allows you to get even more out of a very simple device. I love how they are changing, how every new release of the meter device gets better and better. And now I have to wait and see what will Switch Meter Pro Plus, or whatever will be called the next version, have that this one doesn't have. For 35 euros, this is an awesome deal. And yes, you can also get 20% code currently directly from the website. I know that there are devices that are cheaper than this, much cheaper, much more cheaper. But SwitchBot is au pair, however you think of it, with the Apple ecosystem. And they are really trying to mimic the simplicity, the design, and also functionality that Apple devices have. So if you compare it with that, 35 euros is not bad for a meter such as this one here. In terms of pros and cons, there are not a lot of cons, but I do miss this device inside Home Assistant. I know that this is something that can be fixed, not on the SwitchBot side, but on Home Assistant side, and I also believe that this will be fixed already in the October release of Home Assistant. If not October, November will definitely bring support for this device. Why? Because all of the other meter family devices are already there, so I don't see any problem for another Bluetooth devices to be added to Home Assistant supported device library. And this is it for this video. I really do hope that you did find something interesting here, because I really do enjoy playing with the latest gadgets. If you have any kind of a comment, question, suggestion, idea, you can always pop it down in the comment section below. And I also want to hear from you, what do you think is the good side or the bad side of either humidifier or this Meter Pro. And while you are already there, check that you are subscribed so you don't miss the future video updates and of course my streams. And before I wrap up the video, as always, I want to say thanks to all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, liked, shared or commented on my videos. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. Last but not least, as always, you can send me super thanks and I will be super thankful for that. I will be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.